YouTube, what's going on? It's Rob with Sprayer Splash Fragrance Reviews, and today I am back with my 2022 spring suggestions. If you're interested to find out what those fragrances are, please stay tuned. All right, so I've got two honorable mentions before I get into the bulk of this list. First fragrance is a fragrance from the mid 90s. Yes, I'm going to take it back a little bit with a vintage joint. This is from the house of Jesus Del Pozo. This is Quasar. This is like, I think, 95 release. I'm not going to get into too much detail. This is what you would think to be a blue fragrance, an aquatic fragrance, but it's not quite that. It's one of the earlier entries into that genre of fragrances. This is like a fruity banana leaf. I don't even know what title, because it doesn't fit exactly into the modern day, lane of what an aquatic fragrance is. This is a fragrance that, to me, when you first spray it, the opening is kind of but once it settles in, it's a really good fragrance. It's not a great fragrance, but it's a really good fragrance. If you can get it for a decent price, it's worth checking out. It was a staple of mine. This is my second bottle from the mid 90s, Quasar from Jesus Del Pozo. Second fragrance is one that I recently acquired. It's from the house of Zaharoff. This is Signature Royale X. I haven't given this one a full review as of yet, and I can't fully co-sign it because I want to test this one when it gets warmer outside. But what I can say is that it kind of reminds me of like a throwback skin bracer in a sense. It's got this really like nice citrus, spicy top, and then it kind of transitions into this kind of sexy, musky, like skin scent like smell that is very attractive. It's something that I think that is going to work for a lot of people. It's not a fragrance for everybody, but it definitely has a very unique appeal, and it's one I know is going to work in springtime weather conditions. Can't say about high heat just yet, but it's one that I like, and I wanted to give it an honorable mention at this point. From the house of Zaharoff, this is Signature Royale X. First up is one from the house of Byredo, and this is Baldy Afrique. Most people should know about this one by now. If you don't, this is a really nice floral, slightly woody, sweetness of tonka, kind of dry fragrance. It is perfect for the springtime. Perfect. Now, I don't have a full bottle because I got this travel kit some years ago, and it's like 3 12 ml bottles. Okay, put a pretty heavy dent into this one already, and it's one I highly recommend. You got to get your nose on it. This is not just a spring scent. It's one that would work in summer too. I just would go a little less in regard to sprays, but it's really a beautiful fragrance, unisex. So let me tell you about it. The notes on this fragrance are African marigold, bergamot, buchu, cyclamine, violet, Moroccan cedarwood, and vetiver. It's a 2009 release, and the nose on this one is Jerome Epinetti. I think I paid about $90 for this, but I think you can get a 50 ml for about, I think, $190 to $200, somewhere around there. And then I think the 100 ml is about $276. You can get it cheaper on eBay, but you kind of have to do a lot of searching to get it like that. So just wanted to put that out there just so you know. House of Byredo, Baldy Afrique. Second one is a really nice one from the house of Arabian Oud. This is Cashmere. This is like a 2020 release, I believe. Really nice combination of like ouzo, rose, musk, plum. Incredible fragrance. It's got legs. You don't need to spray a whole lot for this one to do what it needs to do. I think a lot of folks would really like this one. Notes for this fragrance are as follows: Japanese ouzo, plum, black currant, oud, rose, jasmine. Base notes: white musk, cashmere, vanilla. Really nice one from the house of Arabian Oud, Cashmere. From the house of Etat Libre d'Orange, this is Remarkable People. It's a 2015 release. unisex fragrance, one that I think would work for a lot of people. It's got this really nice kind of fizzy champagne top, some spices, sandalwood in the dry down. I got this for a really great price at fragrancebuy.ca. I want to say this 3.4 ounce was on sale for like just under $100, which I think is a really great deal. From the website, I think the prices are, I think it's $98 for a 50 mil, and it's $159 for a 100 mil. So I feel like I got a pretty good deal for a 3.4 under $100. The notes on this fragrance are as follows: grapefruit, champagne accord, cardamom, jasmine, black pepper, labdanum, sandalwood, Loronox. From the house of Etat Libre de Orange, Remarkable People. This one is a Catch It If You Can. This is a 2017 release that is now discontinued from the house of Valentino. This is Donna, Noir, Absolute. It was a fragrance that was made for women, but women did not like it and pretty much said it smelled too masculine. So now if you go and check it on Fragrantica, you will see a ton of reviews from people saying that the fragrance is incredible. I love it. Men should check it out. It's definitely made for men. All right, this is definitely a fragrance that they should have marketed this to men because it's a stunner. It is this really nice plum with booze, sweetness, creamy sandalwood, suede. Incredible fragrance. This is going to be a fragrance that's going to pretty much demand a pretty penny in the very near future. I would say if you happen to run across a bottle, definitely I think it's worth picking up. If you don't like it, I think you can turn it easily. I'll just say that, okay? From the house of Valentino, this is Donna, Noir, Absolute. I have to include a Dumb Breach fragrance on this list from the house of Chanel. This is Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. Don't need to say a whole lot about this fragrance. It's a 2012 release, and it's got this really nice citrus that's creamy, almost like sandalwood, with the sweetness of tonka. You can get this one for about $120. Remember, it's really hard to get these Chanel fragrances discounted. You may be able to find those on eBay between the prices of like $95 to like about $110. But for the most part, when it comes to Chanel, you've got to pay retail for these fragrances. So the notes on this fragrance are as follows: mandarin orange, mint, cypress, sage, pepper, tonka bean, musk, sandalwood, cedar. Incredible indie release from the house of Maya Njai. This is Les Fleurs. Wow. This is addictive fragrance. Really simple. This is pretty much floral musk with some woods, but it is a stunner. It's not this huge projecting fragrance, but it's one that just seems to always be radiating and like just keeping this like little bubble around you all the time you're wearing it. I can't speak enough about this one. You've gotta get a sample and wear it. You can't just spray it on your hand and smell it and say, oh, you've gotta wear it, test it, and see how it reacts with your skin. Unisex fragrance, but it is captivating to me. I think in the springtime, even into the warmer weather of summer, I think this fragrance will really, really shine, and it's one that I'm highly suggesting you guys get your nose on. All right, the notes for the fragrance are as follows: bergamot, neroli, fig, fresh magnolia, floral musk, unwilted wood. Again, from the house of Maya Njai, I believe it's pronounced Les Fleurs. I've got another independent release. This is from the house of Gallagher Fragrances. This is Perfecto. I can be totally honest with you. When I first got this fragrance, I didn't really like it that much. Something about the opening I thought was just a little strange. The longer I've been with it, though, I've come to really appreciate the fragrance. It's got this really natural smelling, almost like a fruit basket smell. It's like melon, it's banana, it's like this rock fruit, it's pear, and it smells really, really juicy and like fresh and ripe. It's a very, very distinct smell. And it took me a second to like wrap my head around the opening. But once you get it and you let the fragrance develop, it's really a nice fragrance, and it kind of has a vintage feel, but it's different. You know, it's got the driftwood versus like the birch, and they kind of smell similar, except it doesn't have that smokiness that the birchwood does. It's got other things going on. It's got patchouli, it's got some ambergris in it, but it's its own fragrance. But it's kind of reminiscent of a vintage, but it's a really nice release. And the notes for this fragrance are as follows. They are pear, bergamot, citron, banana, melon, grapefruit, violet leaf, red champaca absolute, patchouli, cedar, driftwood, ambergris. And this is a 30 mil. I want to say I got this just under $100, but now I think you can cop the 50 mil for about $115 on the Gallagher Fragrances website. All right, Perfecto Gallagher Fragrances. From the house of Costume National, Cyber Garden. Very unique fragrance. One that I don't think everyone is going to like, but I don't do what everyone does. If you like fragrances that are a little different, you like to, take chances sometimes, this is one to check out. It's not weird. It's a little, I don't want to say strange, but it's different in the sense that it's this green, slightly floral type feel, and they've woven this vinyl accord through the fragrance. When you say, you think vinyl, you might say, what the heck are you talking about? Just think of like back in the day, if your parents got their living room furniture covered with like the vinyl, the plastic covering, slip covers. When you first get that covering put on the furniture, it has a very distinct smell, and that smell is woven into this fragrance, but it's done in a way that is very, very appealing, and it's not off-putting at all. It's very distinct. It kind of goes into like a soapy territory, into like once you get into the dry down of the fragrance, but it's a very nice fragrance, and it's one worth checking out. The notes for this fragrance are as follows. Green notes, grapefruit, bergamot, pink pepper, vinyl, geranium, violet leaf, saffron, vetiver, moss, patchouli, labdanum, opopanax. All right, 2013 release, one worth checking out. You can get this one on, I think, fragrancebuy.ca right now for in the $50 range. So if you're inclined, check this one out. Cyber Garden, Costume National. From the house of Mabusan, this is, I'm going to read this one, Un History d'Homme Irresistible. This is a really nice and affordable fig fragrance. It's got some sandalwood in the base. One that is kind of hard to find now for some reason. It kind of came and went. I picked this up at a discounter. I can't remember if it was Fragrance X or Fragrance Buy, but really nice, man. This is one that I really thought when I got it, more people would talk about in FragCon, but it really hasn't gotten any buzz, and I think it's well worth it. It's not like reinventing the wheel in regard to, fig and sandalwood, but it's just really nice bang for the buck, and the way they put this fragrance together, it's kind of unique. It's one worth checking out. The notes on this fragrance are as follows. Fig leaf, bergamot, sandalwood, cedar. When I picked it up, it was about $32. If you go to the website of Mabusan, it's about $74, or 74 euros, I'm sorry, which equates to about $80. It's available directly from the site, but I can't find it anywhere else. All right. From the house of Kenzo, this is Kinzo Om Edt Intense. This is a hard one to track down. I would really like this fragrance. The one knock you may hear about the fragrance is that people will say it has like this kind of like pickle smell that they get sometimes. And I know what they're talking about, but I just think that that's, something that you get when you're just smelling your skin directly. You don't really get that when you smell the fragrance in the air. I really think that this is a really GQ sexy fragrance, but you got to try it on skin. It's not going to be something that everybody's going to like, but I like the fragrance. And let me give you a little bit more information on it. The notes on this fragrance are as follows: calypso, sea notes, pink pepper, spices, fig tree, vetiver, sandalwood, a key, gala wood, and patchouli. All right, so that calypso note is almost like this watermelon type note, and you kind of get this watermelon, fresh water type feel, and you do get what I think kind of is this like static note that you kind of get with that. And some of the other notes like the fig and the calypso together, they kind of create what can kind of come off as this dill note. Every so often you'll kind of smell it, but that's only if you're just smelling skin. You spray it on skin and you're just doing this. But if you just spray it on your body and just wear it the way you normally would and experience the fragrance in the air, you don't really get that. And it's a really, again, GQ, fashion forward, just current modern smell. It's not like any of the aquatics that are out there. It's got its own vibe. You got to experience it for yourself. From the house of Kinzo Om Edt Intense. 2014 release from the house of Robert Piguet. This is V Intense. This is a really sexy fragrance. I think it's marketed to women, but men can definitely pull this one off. It's got this really nice kind of bright opening floral component, nice patchouli, just a really sexy fragrance. It's got some spices. It's got a nice warmth to it, but because of the floral components, I think it's really a great fragrance to wear in the springtime. Highly recommend this one. You can cop this one for about $100 for 3.4 ml. I got mine on eBay. It's not that hard to find. You can track this one down. All right, so the notes on this fragrance are as follows: bergamot, pear, saffron, soft rose, sweet lang-ylang, plum, patchouli, incense, sandalwood, white musk. I'm gonna go ahead and recommend an incense-based fragrance for a cool spring night. From the house of Comme des Garçons, this is Incense Kayoto. This is just a really classy incense fragrance. It's not really a whole lot to this one. I mean, there's some pepper and it's kind of got this incense that's really zen-like. It kind of feels like static to me, the way it smells. You just got to smell it for yourself. It's not this overpowering incense fragrance that's going to just be too much. It's just right, and I think on a cool spring night with a nice breeze, this will be perfect. All right, so the notes on the fragrance are as follows: incense, cypress, cedar, teak wood, vetiver, immortelle, coffee. 2018 release from the house of Mansera. This is Hindu Kush. This is a really nice, spicy, slightly incensey, green, earthy fragrance. One that you have to put on skin. It's a lot sexier than the name may suggest. It doesn't really smell like Hindu Kush, which is a specific type of cannabis, but I think they're trying to kind of replicate that and kind of give you a feel that's wearable. So you don't really ever smell like you've been around somebody smoking marijuana at all. It's got this appeal to it. It's really classy, even though it's supposed to be replicating cannabis. It's definitely green. It kind of has this, in the beginning, it kind of feels like a little slightly heavy, but it quickly goes away. And then you kind of really get into more of the spice. And then at the end, like the musk and the vanilla pods come out, and that's kind of like what the fragrance is about. Again, very, very sexy, definitely unisex, okay? The notes on the fragrance are as follows: incense, cannabis oil, spices, labdanum, woody notes, patchouli leaf, amber, gaiac wood, vanilla pod, white musk. Last but not least, from the House of Katan, this is Katan Black. This is my GIT or Green Irish Tweed substitute. Really nice violet fragrance with a raspberry, note added to that. It's a stunner. Winner. Everybody's going to pretty much like this one. You can get this one for a steal now at discounts for like around 50 to 60 bucks for a 4.2 ounce bottle. So this was one that's definitely worth checking out. Guys, I thank you so much for coming back and checking out another video. I hope you have a safe, productive springtime. Subscribe if you've never subscribed. Everybody stay safe. Talk to you soon.